In the beginning, the world was a perfect garden, full of life and wonder. At its heart stood the tree of life and tree of knowledge of good and evil. The first man and woman, Adam and Eve, lived there in perfect harmony. Everything was provided for them, with only one simple command to obey. They were free to eat from any tree, except for the tree of knowledge. But a subtle voice entered the garden, beautiful and full of questions. The serpent spoke softly, planting a seed of doubt in Eve's mind. He twisted the truth and made the forbidden fruit seem desirable. In an instant, the fruit was no longer a symbol of a rule but a prize. Eve held in her hands the choice between obedience and understanding. Her heart was torn between the peace she knew and the wisdom she was promised. In that moment of decision, the fate of the world rested in her eyes. She took a bite, and in an instant everything changed forever. The vibrant garden faded, replaced by a harsh and broken land. Filled with a new and terrible awareness, she did not want to be alone. Their innocence was shattered, and their eyes were opened to shame and fear. Adam saw the terror in her face, and in that moment chose to share in her fate. They looked at each other, no longer one but two separate people. Overwhelmed by a sudden wave of shame, they tried to cover themselves and hide. But they could not hide from the presence of the God they had disobeyed. Their once protective world now seemed full of shadows and threats. When confronted, Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent. And so, judgment was passed, beginning with the one who first deceived. For the woman, there would be pain in childbirth and new conflict. For the man, the ground was now cursed, condemning him to a life of toil. Then, they were cast out of the garden, their perfect home lost to them. An angel with a flaming sword was placed to guard the way to the tree of life. They took one last, lingering look at the paradise they had called home. Before them now lay a vast, unknown wilderness and an uncertain future. The sun was setting on a perfect world, and a new day of struggle was dawning. In the end, their disobedience had cost them everything they had ever known. But in this desolate and unforgiving new world, they still had each other. And together, they took their first steps into the world beyond Eden.